Aaron Tuttle here. It's storm season in Oklahoma, and with that comes torrential rain, high winds, and hail. To protect your home and your family from these threats, the one roofing company you should trust is Ferguson Roof Systems. They've been providing the best in roofing services for nearly half a century. Ferguson is Oklahoma's full-service roofing company, certified with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and a 5-star rating on Google. And with Ferguson now offering Class 4 impact-resistant shingles, now is the time to trust them with your home's roof. Get started today at FergusonRoofSystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle back with you again. This is our Lunchtime Live short weather update here for your Thursday, almost 12:30. Run a little behind today, but it's okay. We do have some rain out there at least to speak of. Thanks for joining me out there in YouTube world, also on Facebook and Rumble and Twitter X. Glad to have you here in the house. So appreciate you leaving your comments. Tell me where you're checking in from, all that kind of stuff. So we'll discuss how the storms are panning out so far today, and then what is expected here for tonight with that other round, if that's still going to happen, all that and more. Out there currently, it's like hit and miss. So some of you may be getting some good downpours. Others of you might be getting a little break in the action. Looks like I'm kind of in the middle part there. I've got some sunshine trying to squeeze through some of those clouds. Otherwise, 71 degrees. A little on the cool side, but obviously a little bit on the muggy side as well. Let's take a look at the radar view here for our lunchtime. And you can see rain all the way up and down I-35. We'll start up here across far southern Kansas. Some thunderstorms in these areas, and these are not severe, by the way. These are just some heavy downpours. You can get some occasional flooding or ponding on roadways with these. You do have, obviously, some lightning as well. That stretches on down south now toward Cushing and Perkins and Bristow. Still hit and miss stuff here in Oklahoma City metro area, but a lot lighter now than it was earlier. Heavier stuff over here east of Oklahoma City toward Wetumpka, Stewart, along Highway 75 to Colgate. Let's see, from there we'll go south to Atoka, back to Caddo, Caney. There's some heavier rain there, and to Bonham, down into Texas. Let's see, back out here west of Oklahoma City, what do we got here? Just some light stuff from Cordell, Carnegie, Amber, Chickasha, down toward Walters. And then, of course, there's more storms and showers down here in North Texas. Again, none of these have been severe lately. They're just some good old-fashioned rainfall, which is obviously something that we usually need as we head into our summer months. What we do have overhead, though, believe it or not, is what we call a MCV, which stands for Mesoscale Convective Vortex. So basically, it's a mid-level area of low pressure that is moving through. You can see kind of a counterclockwise look to the movement of these showers. So everything kind of moves in this fashion. So that is an instigator to getting additional showers and storms going when you add in a little instability. In other words, some of that sun kind of coming through the clouds. So on the leading edge of that is usually where you find your strongest weather activity, which is about where we have it now. And then as this system slowly moves east, it will continue to develop here, here, and here. All right, and then we'll start to wind things down on the west side of it because you have sinking air that comes in this section, and you have rising air that comes in this section. So as this little feature transverses the state, we'll continue with the rainfall in that fashion. All right, so that's what's happening out there currently. Let's take a look here also at the satellite viewpoint. So this is our cluster of thunderstorms moving through. So I'll outline Oklahoma for you. Sometimes it's hard to see here on the map. You got so much action going on. And then right around here is Dallas-Fort Worth. There's I-20. So you can see how the clusters of storms kind of move between the areas. Good old heavy rainfall also coming down this little cluster here, coming in toward northwest Texas as well. And then back out here, we'll watch for new development for our secondary round coming in later on this evening. All right, let's take a look here at the convective threat for today. This will also be really mainly for this evening and then overnight. So Storm Prediction Center has outlined this area in yellow, which originally had come to Oklahoma City. They backed it back west of that a little bit more to Guymon, Woodward, Elk City, Altus, down to Dallas-Fort Worth. As far as the specific individual threats, low threat for a tornado in the green area in that region. Let's see, also to a little bit of wind. So obviously some strong damaging winds expected out across parts of Texas, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can't happen here, because we'll look at the data here in a minute, and honestly, I think this is done improperly. I think we could really draw out something like this for the damaging wind, but we'll look at that here in a minute. And then finally the hail. So there's your risk of hail, wind, and et cetera. Now the reason why they lowered the magnitude around here is because of our morning activity into the afternoon. That does tend to stabilize the atmosphere. As we head into late May and June, though, and into July, that becomes less and less of a factor because you do get to heat up so much quicker as a rebound that time of the year than you do, like, say, the early part of the spring. If you do look at the AI model, see what it does. It just basically just broad brushes everything for all wind and hail and potential for a tornado. Now, again, I think any tornadoes that do happen here, at least in Oklahoma, I don't think we'll have any. They would have to be kind of a QLCS version, which would be along the leading edge of a squall line. That would happen later on this evening, overnight. If you look out here in the Panhandle, this particular AI model likes the tornado risk out in this region, which does include all of the Texas Panhandle and even into toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just a little in heightened risk area there. All right, let's take a look and see what the details are unfolding for us. So we'll start with, let's just start here. So we'll start this little batch here that came through this morning. I'll back it up. So this is our first shortwave trough. Let me get a different color here. This is our shortwave trough that's moving through. So this is what's causing the first round of storms. And we have these little disturbances here, here, here that are all kind of lined up. So we'll see how they start to affect the regions. That's the first one. All right, so that moves off into this afternoon and evening. And then here comes that secondary one here for this evening across the Texas Panhandle. All right, and then that one kind of moves through Oklahoma overnight into tomorrow morning. So that's our big rainmaker. And it's into Friday afternoon at this point. Then we have another little system right here across Colorado, but I think this one's going to fall apart for Friday night and the Saturday morning. So here's Saturday morning, and there's midday Saturday, so it lost a lot of its signal here. There's still going to be a little bit of leftover, I think, shower activity northwest Oklahoma. We'll look at the high-res model here in a second. And then another one shows up right here, and that's for Saturday night into Sunday. You see how that moves into Kansas Saturday night, and then to Sunday morning in northern Oklahoma. Then that moves into northeast Oklahoma for midday Sunday, kind of clipping central Oklahoma. So maybe more of its, maybe it might be more of a northeast Oklahoma event for that one over the weekend. And let's see, and that's as far as this model goes. But here's a Sunday night signal coming in already for Monday. So this is the time of the year where these things start to happen. All right, so let's just break down how things ought to look on the radar output here for today. All right, so I'll start you here right about lunchtime. So here's that indication of the showers, heavier thunderstorms to our east, some moderate stuff out to our west. All right, so we go into 2 and 3 o'clock. You know, there's Tulsa and southeastern Kansas and all the way down to North Texas. There's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, still storming out there across the eastern third of Oklahoma. There's that new activity coming in the Panhandle at 6 o'clock for both Oklahoma and Texas. 7, 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So by 10 o'clock, the model has the line of storms in the western counties of Oklahoma. As we head into the 11 o'clock hour and midnight, that activity starts to get a little closer to us. And there are some little indications here of MCVs. There's a little comma head in the reflectivity there, and even one up here. So we'll probably have a couple of these little clusters that will kind of help to keep the thunderstorms going overnight. You can see kind of a bow structure to this as well. That usually indicates some damaging winds within that across the southern parts of Oklahoma around the midnight hour or so. You can see how that kind of clips Oklahoma City, but stays mostly on the south end of town and then points down into Texas. So we head into 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. That activity keeps rolling on off to the east for our Friday. We get some redevelopment because we still have that little broad mid-level circulation kind of around this area of the state. So some lingering showers, maybe like rumbles of thunder for your Friday morning commute here in central Oklahoma, but otherwise winding down. And then as we head into the late morning to noon hour, this might start to squeeze out some additional isolated activity for Friday, especially into northeast Oklahoma, as you can see there for Tulsa. So again, these aren't expected to be severe. They should be like the borderline stuff. If anything, you get penny-sized hail. You also may get some lightning, brief downpours that may cause some localized flooding. That will move on off, and then we'll fast forward into Saturday morning, so early Saturday morning. So there's that signal here after midnight of that activity coming in and then starting to dissipate. So this model just basically evaporates it here across northwest Oklahoma on Saturday. Doesn't do much with it. Tries to get something else going here, but that's about it. So right now, knock on wood, most of Saturday looks dry for most of the state. Just in the early morning hours, probably this favored region, and that's about it. And then also for Friday, remember some rain here in this region, but once we get past Friday morning, the rest of the body of the state looks pretty good for rainfall. So that's how that's going to pan out. If we look down south into North Texas, there's going to be some pretty heavy thunderstorms in there. Some of these will be severe in around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Here's lunchtime already. On into the afternoon period, the models keep producing some of these thunderstorms that are quite heavy in nature. And some of these have little helicity tracks, especially on the western end, where it thinks that the wind shear is going to be a little bit stronger and more organized. So it's possible you can get a tornado in one of these clusters of storms out here. If it's not in the west side, maybe the metro, maybe it's just down in southwest of town, but regardless, it's going to be in the vicinity, so just kind of stay advised of that. That'll be moving on into southern parts of the metro, on into central Texas, down at Bryan College Station, home of the Aggies, my fighting Texas Aggies, and then back out to Tyler, and then on toward Shreveport. This line of storms continues, so very, very stormy afternoon and evening down there in central and north Texas. All right, there's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That stuff moves south and east. Here comes that secondary line for you. That's also affecting Oklahoma for Friday, early morning. Like I said, there's 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Pretty nasty squall line. Good indication there'll be some pockets of damaging wind in here. Wind speeds up at excess probably of 70 miles per hour, which is what you guys had a few days ago. And you know what that happens. If you get 70 mile per hour winds, that could do some damage. All right, so there's 2 o'clock in the morning. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So everything's starting to kind of move into central and southern Texas by that point and onward by the rest of Friday. So things kind of improving in your neck of the woods after we get through kind of a stormy 24-hour period. All right, so let's take a look here at that little batch I mentioned for Sunday morning here in northern Oklahoma and into southern Kansas. So that's at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's 5 o'clock, or excuse me, 7 o'clock. There's 10 o'clock. So most of it looks like the bulk of it is going to be on this fashion here. So just kind of clipping central Oklahoma. And we'll see how that does in the updated model data. If it backs out to the west a little bit or if it moves to the east a little bit. We're pretty much right on the edge of where the action would be. And then that moves on out. So there's Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. So if you do have any weekend plans, back this up a little bit. Midday, obviously, here's noon from basically right around noon, lunchtime. This area of the state is going to be seeing some thunderstorms and some rain. So it's probably a little bit of a squall line. So it'll be a line of heavy rainfall, showers, and storms. So if you've noticed, this happens to highlight a lot of lakes in this area. So a lot of boating. So just keep that in mind here for Sunday. Get off the water, lightning, etc. Rainfall amounts. Now again, the models won't, this particular model blend will not highlight where you get some really heavy downpours. I can look at one here in a second just kind of get an indication of that. But overall, widespread, still 1 to 2 inches in the future rain events coming up across a good chunk of Oklahoma, even on down to North Texas. So let's take a look, for example, at where one of the models will try to do its best guess at highlighting the highest potential of rainfall during these events. Just kind of give you an idea of what's possible. So for example, here's 5.5 inches of rain, 4.5, even down here in North Texas, there's 5 inches. These little yellow areas. So that's what I mean. You can sometimes get some brief flash flooding from some of these, but that's kind of par for the course this time of year. Temperatures, let's see, if we get some sun, we'll hit barely low 80s. If not, we're going to be into the 70s for the remainder of today. And then it's otherwise, temperatures will be low 80s over the next couple of days for the weekend. They get pretty toasty up here in the extended. And that will also come with a lot more instability. So we get some severe storms in here on Monday and Tuesday. Those will be quite potent for us. And then the models do dry things out in this particular area, reducing the Cape values. So dry air, in other words, should start to kind of come in here more. Even though it'll get warmer, it'll feel less humid for you. So it's kind of a trade-off there, but it feels pretty good. So there you go. That's a quick roundabout view of what's happening. There's your 10-minute update of the showers and storms expected overall for this weekend. Hopefully that can help you out with your planning and your timing. I'll be around here this evening around 9:30 for one last live look at the weather, and then we'll kind of check to see if that secondary round is going to have some severe straight line winds with it. Again, in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's kind of like doing damage of a small tornado, but over a much larger area. So it is something to be obviously concerned or take serious if you're going to be outdoors or anywhere near that situation. And that's about it for me. Hope you guys have a rest of a great Thursday. It is Thursday. Sometimes I gotta think about it. What day are we in? So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you again on the next broadcast. Thanks for checking in your lunch, liking and sharing the video, and grab my weather app. It's free. AT's Weather to Go on Apple and Google Play, and I'll talk again with you soon. Take care.